Hey y'all, this is Alchemy again. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this in parts. I'm new at this shit. I don't do edits all that great. I'm just gonna put this into parts. So that was part one. All right, where I break down the 0 versus the 1. Okay, so now I'm gonna do part 2, where we just go a little bit more in depth and we talk about like examples of how we're doing this in society and where I feel like it's working in its proper sequence of actually putting the nurturing feminine energy 0 before 1, right? And then versus how I feel like a majority of our world and society is putting the 1 before the 0 and some errors and maybe some things we could just revisit. All right, and I'm human too. I done did it before too. We like to spring into things, right? Let's talk about that. So, one of the reasons why I feel like humans, society, puts that 1 before the 0. Well, just think about when astrology starts the spring season, right? Starts in Aries, which is the first house. It's all masculine energy. So we're talking about, you know, the self. We're talking about the one I want to spring into things, right? That's kind of what the vibe of Aries is. It's this mark in spring. But well, you know what came before that? Pisces did, right? And Pisces is known to have a hidden quality about it, right? It's got that feminine energy, that secret. It's the end. It's literally the end, right? And we often talk about it. One thing ends for something else to begin. So these are just cycles that we're talking about here. And we begin our cycles for the year in a masculine energy, right? So that could be one of the reasons why I feel like humans tend to just spring into things. They don't always consider the whole fucking thing, okay? I did plenty of shit like that in my life. It's been a few dates. If I had thought the shit through. Child. Okay? But anywho, sometimes, we just spring into action. We just go ahead and get into things, right? And that's cool, you know what I'm saying? Because these are just experiences, y'all. Even the dates, even the ones that don't go out, go off so well, right? You learn something. You get to see some things differently, right? So you know how to go at it again, right? Because that's another cycle about things. Shit always kind of comes back around. Okay, so let's go a little bit further with this number 1 and why I feel like the number 1 comes first outside of the astrology, right? Let's think about the the female and male genitalia. I don't know why I want to laugh with that. I'm so giddy. I'm such a goof. But yeah, when I think about the female anatomy, the female, that part, right? It looks more ovally, more feminine, more like a circle, right? So we have that feminine put on the woman. We're like the code of our bodies is saying the same thing, y'all. Because when you look at a masculine man or that male, right, he's got the number 1 down there. I am number 1. I'm telling you, man, that's what I feel like. That's got to be what the head thinking down there. Like it's just, it gets so. I mean, it's up every time the sun comes up. Okay. I am number 1. I'm number 1. Like, why you got all that bluff? I mean, I don't know why God's doing what he's doing or why Source is doing what he's doing to our bodies to make them do what they do. Okay, I don't know all the whys, but I just think it's curious to think about a penis. I used to have this friend, and I ain't gonna go too far. And I'm not gonna go too far because I might have some young people listening to me. Okay, we gonna keep it cute. We're gonna keep it cute. Coming back to the number 1. So yeah, it looks real phallic-y. And number 1, or that not the number 1, but the phallic, right, symbol, the penis, is generally what's thought of when we think about conception in life. Well, this is where the children come from, right? The woman just nurtures the baby, but the actual live sperm comes from the man's body. So I think that's kind of one of the reasons why society also has ran with this like phallic kind of like forefront type vibe and shit, like pissing contest type energy. I'm sorry, y'all phallics, but y'all make every fucking thing a damn pissing contest. I love you. Okay? We love the phallics. It's alright with me. Okay? But anywho, that being said, and if it ain't alright with you, it's cool too. We love love, okay? But the fact that society puts so much emphasis, okay, on this phallic is could be attributed to the fact that the man decides, or carries the life for reproduction, right? When the woman houses it in her round little egg in her body, but the man's got it in his phallic, right? Or does he? Or do them children Okay, them little lives. Okay, the little babies, the little baby tadpoles, sperms. Okay, they're housed in a sac, right? A round sac. So we see again where God is put, or sources put the code into the form. The zero, or the egg, or the feminine, is where life is, because it's nurturing. It's considering all things. It's got all possibilities. I got the whole world. You know what I'm saying? Right there. It's just all life, all possibilities. A lot of times it's in y'all hands, fellas. And it's ain't that funny, you think? I'm sorry, I should not do that. Ooh, I should do that. Because I don't know whose faith is out here, and I don't want to be, insensitive to nobody. I'm just silly, y'all. I'm a goof. But anywho, and I ain't gonna tell y'all all my tea, you know what I'm saying? But about these phallics and stuff like that. So let me kind of get back to the points of, this is just more examples for why I feel like, we should consider the zero before the one. Because real talk, I mean, the sac is even hidden behind the phallic. If you were looking at a man's anatomy up front, just depending on the body made, you would ratio that the phallic comes before that, because it's how it, that's how it looks. So I got a lot of visuals going on. I'm very visual. I ain't gonna tell you all my tea, but I am a rising Cancer. Okay, so I be seeing, I daydream a lot. But it's cool. It's cool, though. I can get back to my practical natures, though, too. I can kind of break shit down and go a little deep and all that stuff, because I think these questions kind of have to be raised as to why society would be putting the phallic, okay, before the feminine, before the whole thing, why we're putting the one before the zero. And I wanted to talk, too, about... So that this might be why, but what's the error in that? What's the error? What's the problem? What's the problem with men coming first? Okay, what's the problem with putting the I don't want to say men, because this ain't about a man or female. What's the problem with putting a masculine concept before the feminine? Well, just think about the practical nature of that, y'all. Where have you been that you haven't seen the whole thing through, or had an idea of the whole thing? And then you have to take it step by step to execute, right? That's all I'm saying, y'all. It's real practical. And some people that I think we can look at these practical examples on this concept of zero before one. Let's give this man his flowers even now. George Washington Carver, okay? Because, child, when I was pregnant, them peanut butter jelly sandwiches was hitting. They hit so well. It was a few times, because I remember, y'all, I hadn't eaten peanut butter and jelly in forever. I know, like 10 years or 15. I don't know how long it was, child. But when I ate one for the first time in a long time, I danced. It just hit. It was perfect. So George Washington Carver took this feminine concept of the peanuts. All right, this feminine relationship to a peanut, and ask questions like, how far can we take this thing? What is it that I think on the documentary that I watched, he basically asked the question, I want to know everything there is to know about everything, right? And then I think he said God kind of laughed at him, because he was praying. He was like, I want to know everything there is to know about everything, God. He was like, well, that might be too much for you, okay? So he's like, let me know everything there is to know about the peanut. Let me nurture the peanut. Let me take it from this place where I started, and I nurture it, and I come back full circle to it. And great examples, like he created peanut butter, okay, the peanut oil, just all kind of things from this one nut. And he did that feminine principle where he nurtured that peanut, took it from point A all the way back to point A, and then after that journey came out with a form. All right, he came out with a form of something new. He birthed all types of inventions and did all kind of great things for humanity and the culture, just for humans, people, the peanut, okay? And small fact, I learned that there's a peanut called Valencia, which I think is dope, because it's my name, Valencia. That's all y'all. I ain't gonna tell y'all my tea. But anywho, that being said, the peanut was taken from this feminine value was put on it, nurtured it, right? So you get all kind of things birthed from it. Now let's look at another figure, right? Who I think is a great figure, an example of the masculine principle, right? where you get the more masculine thinking of things. And this would be a Mr. Okay? And not the 90s group Mr. from The Color Purple. Mr. was a mess child. Mr. He was a mess child. Okay, but let me tell you why he's a great example for us to talk about, because Mr. came from a period, right, where men were more valued. The masculine was more valued, all right? He came from that women just didn't have the same type of class, and they weren't looked at the same as men were, right? So he kind of operated in that kind of A to B type thing, where he related to women. That's what I was gonna say. Where he related to women, he kind of he didn't really nurture Celie, right? You know what I mean? Celie was combing heads, okay? Celie was making edible food, child, okay? She was doing all kinds of things, scrubbing walls. Celie was sewing socks, okay? She was trying to upgrade the man, okay? And he never nurtured her back. He just kind of had that, A to B like thing. I need a wife. I need a wife to do all these things. I don't need to necessarily nurture this wife, right? But I need her to do all these things. In fact, when it came to relating to women, he had a wife, right? But he was really in love with Suge, right? So as it came to women, I don't know what he was planning on doing with Suge. You got a wife, bruh. But hey, look, to each his own. I don't judge. No judgment here, mister. Okay? But we don't like how you treated Celie. Okay? Celie is my girl. We love Miss Celie over here. Alright? Because Miss Celie, there was that moment in the movie too. There was this moment where it was just kind of wild, because he was like, you're ugly, you're black, you just, trying to make her real feel, just trying to set her just like this lady down for who she was. And one of the things that he said that was like the heaviest, right, was like, you're a woman, like he was just, you're a woman, like, bruh, okay? But that's how it was looked at back then. So the masculine traits back then didn't come from like a nurturing place. He didn't want this woman to have connections with her sister, right? He was blocking that. He just wanted her to do this A to B work for him. He didn't want her to be like really taken away from what she needed to do for him. It was like a real kind of A to B type thing. He wasn't about to see that her coming to her own self-being and things like that. He was really just, I feel like, strong in his masculine principle. And it's all good, because there are times like, look, here's the thing. Mr. does get a bad rap, but when it came to his life, I love that movie too, because when it came to his life full circle, I think he came into the realization and the awareness, like, yeah, this is bigger than me. All right, this is about everybody. Okay, this isn't just about my A to B. This ain't just about my knees here. Okay, when it comes to the full circle of things, I want everybody to be happy, because he just grew, right? So, but again, Mr.'s character is something that's teachable. And another thing that's teachable too about Mr.'s character is like, look, hey, we in this world, okay? So there are just some times in the world where you gotta be ready to move, okay? You gotta be like in your masculine. You don't even get a chance to see the freaking full picture. Like, did he get to see the freaking full picture? No. He came in from like circumstances where his dad had those ideas, right? Because his dad was something else too. And, he couldn't see the full nature and full spectrum of like what a woman really was, right? So he had to go in a place and learn those things. So we are here to cultivate things, okay, people? Okay? We don't come in masters. It's not all of us, child, but, I am the master. No. We most of us are students, right? We're just here like, I'm here, I'm learning. I'm just like asking questions and stuff. But when it comes to Mr., he was definitely in his masculine principle. He kind of and again, the masculine principle isn't a bad thing. I don't think that one is good or bad. I think that's what I want. I just want to kind of just like, because again, it's dualistic shit. I don't want nobody to be like, oh, George Washington Carver versus Mister. You that ain't right. Mister wasn't even a real person, and it's just not a favor against the masculine principle and why the masculine should be first. No. It's not about it being a fictional character or being real or not, or nothing dualistic about it. It's really or even good or bad, because there are in times there. And a lot of times in life, you have to be in your masculine principle. You've got to be able to act, okay? There are just some times in life where you can't see what's ahead. You won't get to come back full circle with the stuff you just own, okay? When they say springing in life, you own. We don't know how this life gonna end, you know what I'm saying? We don't know what's going to be like to circle back around to it. We're experiencing it. So absolutely, the masculine principle has its place. You need to know how to act. You won't always have the moments to like consider the whole thing. And in fact, when you're drawing the shape, the zero, right? Again, when you look at that line, if you were to, depending on where you were in that oval that you drew, you might, the first thing that you see that form is a 1, right? If you were just like, okay, if I'm going to draw my circle and I start here, before I can make it full, if I was to stretch that out and I had to stop for some reason, all that would be a line, is all I'm saying, y'all. I probably need to be in front of a camera soon. I will be soon, y'all. But, if you're visual and you can kind of imagine it, that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that there are times in life where we're going to put the masculine first. And that's fine. We cool with that, okay? Ain't nobody saying nothing wrong with that. But in general, the sequence should be 0 before 1. Because when you are considering the whole thing, things just tend to kind of play out better. If you come up with an ideal for something and you've considered all the things, you can kind of execute based off that, right? You can plan ahead. You can be more efficient with your time. You know what I'm saying? Because you've thought things through. That's all I'm saying, y'all. I ain't saying too much. I ain't saying nothing too crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's on a personal level. There's a reason why we should be able to apply the 0 before the 1 personally. We generally do it all the time. Now, there's probably points in your life where you're not always considering everything, or maybe you've considered everything, but you still act in your masculine. You're still just trying to get from point A to point B. You may not even know when you might be on the path to come back to that point again. Life is different for everybody in different forms and times and stuff like that. So I get it, but I'm just saying overall what Source is trying to tell us by putting the 0 before the 1 is where you can and when you can. 0 needs to be honored in its value, where nothing came from. You ever been on a journey and shit got hard for you and you had to go back to where things started, what gave you the inception, what the inspiration was to begin with? You know what I mean? People will tell you that while you're on the journey. It gets hard. It's hard out there, you know what I mean? But you got to go back and you got to find things to be inspired by again. And you generally go by that first thing that was the inception. What sparked out that thing? What was in that all possibilities realm? What was in that feminine, right? You know what I'm saying? So again, the 0 should come before the 1 on the personal level. The 0 should come before the 1 on a societal level, okay? We fucking up some shit out here, y'all. We really are, because we got the 1s before the 0s. I mean, I don't want to make it too heavy or nothing like that, but there's some big companies and they go into places and they will create a product for people, like do that whole masculine energy of A to B. Like, I got a product and my overall relationship to my customers is to give them what they want, right? So yeah, you do give your customers what they want by doing that A to B move, but maybe you have waste from that said product. Well, where do you put your waste? Well, I'll just put it over here with these people. They not my customers. They don't give a shit, right? I'll buy the land from their government, put the waste over here, whatever. And now you fucking up other people's lives for said group. So sometimes if you're not considering like the all people, right? Because these people may not be customers right now, but maybe when they get a little older, maybe when things get a little bit better, maybe when shit changes, right? They could be potential customers, right? Who knows? But if you're considering the whole impact of how this relates to people, potential, though, you can't just do the A to the B and not take in consideration how it's making other folks suffer. That's all I'm saying, y'all. That's all I'm saying, y'all. It's a basic principle. These 0s and 1s, we see them every day. Like I said, we see them we don't get to do this internet shit without it. All right. So that's the fabric of what everything is built on. So if the fabric of what everything is built on could be put back into its place, if the feminine could get back into its rightful place of being considered first, if the nurturing effort of humanity could get back to its place of considering all things of how it affects everyone first, and then we put the forum out there, we might be saving lives soon. We might be really changing the direction of energy. All right, but again, the air, and we've had plenty of time to do the shit phallic-y, okay? We've been putting ourselves first. We've been putting, as it relates, right? We've been putting the A to B first. All right, we've done it already. We've seen where it leads, and it's not the greatest for the highest good of all concerned. Do you see what I'm saying, y'all? So that's all that's all that little message was. This how this whole overall message was, and I really do hope that you enjoyed it. And maybe we can all be thinking about ways of putting the feminine first. Maybe we can, have more conversations like this, y'all. I don't know. I really hope that you did enjoy this conversation. And if you did, come back because I'll have more like it. Okay. Again, this is Valkymie's Alchemy, and let me know your thoughts on your alchemy. What's yours? I would love to hear from you guys soon. And you'll be hearing from me soon because I'll be back. Until then, take care.